Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackomberger, and our co-host, John Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Wise Kracks. This is episode 111, they tell me. I love putting numbers to it. Bill Krackomberger, who's on the East Coast. Where are you? This looks like a different setup than normal. Where are you?
Foxwoods. I'm in Connecticut, terrorizing bookmakers. Yeah. I'm going back and forth between DraftKings, as you could see here. This is just literally just the last 48 hours.
Oh my
48
God.
Hours.
Like, what's if you had to ballpark, the dollar amount of all of those tickets is what?
Well, I came over 50,000 and I have a lowly 5,000. I got maybe another 3,000 in my pocket. So,
and Bill, when you place all those bets, there is absolutely zero stress involved?
Stress is getting down on making sure I get the right number on things. Like, there's so many different things that I bet at these sports books, unique things that are unique to that particular sports book. So I just want to get them in before they move because, I know what happens, and I know they have severely cut the limits here, believe it or not, even though I have bet a lot of things. They severely have cut the limits on certain types of wagers like proposition bets, individual player props for the games. They've cut the limits on them. I tried to bet a first half, that game that was only limited to this particular book today, NFL bet, just to give you an example. There was a 23 on a first half total. No one else had the 23. So I went up to the counter and it was under 23 minus 20. I asked for 2,400 to win 2,000 and they said $500. So I bet it. So I don't know what's going on. There's a little bit of an industry change going on at certain sports books where the upper management are literally, let me be blunt, I think they're scaring the traders. I think they're actually scaring the traders in the risk departments, and they almost can't do their job because some of the guys up top may have been like, don't do that. You guys are doing, we're losing this, we're losing money on this, and not just taking bets and getting the volume and moving off the bets. I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to put words in someone's mouth, but there's a big difference from this season to last season, this time of the year. That's all I'll say.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild. So the sweat is more on getting the actual bets in and getting the right line. And it's not the, you don't sweat the it could lose or I might go. This could,
no,
you don't care about
never. Never.
I love that.
No, never.
Savage.
No, I'm good. And I have access to more money too. I thought I didn't know I was going to bet that much here. I'm talking about them severely limiting me. I didn't know there was going to be this many opportunities here. I have access to more money too that I'm going to be probably getting into today. I have a credit line here, so I'm going to probably be messing around, and I'll have a lot more bets by the time I leave here.
Isn't that weird that they'll limit you and give you a credit line? It seems like.
Well, really, you're not supposed to use your credit line in the casino, but I'm also a video poker player, unfortunately, because I'm down money this year playing it. So I'll play video poker and I'll have some extra money to bet with. And it doesn't matter. I always pay them back anyway. And they have 30 or 45 days, depending on how much money you take.
Is there interest on that when you have the credit? No.
No. It's juice-free loans. As a matter of fact, a lot of people will use their credit lines for Christmas time. You'll see they'll take their credit line out and only gamble with a small portion of it and not play up till their line. And that's always something that happens in a lot of casinos. I mean, I don't have to do that, but I know people do that. I know people in the industry that say, wow, they'll come here 45 days and take, 50,000 and, pay us back, but they have a juice-free loan for a month and a half.
So let me ask you this. Sometimes when you win money, like if you win a few grand playing blackjack and you go to the cage, like I've given them like 2,500 in chips before at the cage, and sometimes the lady will say, do you have any markers? And I always say no, because I've never had casino credit. If I did have markers, would I be obligated to pay them off right there on the spot? You would be.
Yes. Yeah. And but to be real blunt, all you have to say is a simple 2-letter word, no. they're going to give you the money. They're not even checking.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. Because she didn't look up anything.
You're supposed to pay your markers. You're supposed to pay your markers back before you take the cash that you have. Absolutely. Absolutely correct.
And if you don't pay, you would just have 30 days, but they kind of frown. They don't want you to do it that way.
Yeah. One time I was in California. I was in Verona casino, and I took 20,000 in slot markers, and I left the casino and actually drove back to Vegas with the tickets in my pocket. I forgot to pay the markers back. I just said, I'm coming back in a couple of weeks. I was going to pay the marker back. And, I left with the vouchers, and, came back in 2 weeks, and I wound up giving them the vouchers back. And I was like, no one said a word. So, wow. I mean, I could have cashed them in at an interest-free loan, but it's not what I do.
Yeah. So. That's cool. Well, we have a really fun show today. We've got the man on the show today. We've got Derek Stevens, who owns Circa, the D, and really excited. And right. Really excited to have him on the show. And before we get to all of that, let's talk about NFL Week 1 is here, Bill Krackomberger. I can't even believe this. Opening day, as we record this, is tomorrow. When the show comes out, it will be opening day. Pretty exciting stuff. The Bills and the Rams are going to kick off the season this year for the games. What are your thoughts?
Man, everyone, John, I walk around these casinos and these sports books, and everyone has the same question. Who do I want? Who do you like in a Bills game? I mean, God forbid you ask about a college total, football total or something. Everyone wants to know what you have in these big NFL games. And it's the same thing year after year, no matter how much I preach to them. Blue in the face. Everyone wants to know what everyone's talking about on every network is NFL. And that's where the bookmakers make the money. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, it is. It's good. Now, listen, I'm not going to – I actually didn't think I was even going to bet this game. And I did give out every wise guy I know is on the Rams in a teaser, taking it from the key numbers down up. It's 2.5. So you're taking it through 3, through 7. Plus 8.5 on a 6-point teaser. The Rams at home. That's a pretty safe bet over the years historically. Is the home team dog like that? Especially you got a Super Bowl champ here, but you're playing against literally the number one team in football. The favorite to win the Super Bowl is the Bills. So that's who you're going against here. It's going to be a fun game. I'm sure everyone's going to have a bet on this game, and I do like that teaser a little bit going through. Going through the key numbers there, I do like the Rams. I usually don't like giving picks out on the show because everyone rates you by one pick. I mean, this could easily lose and Buffalo can blow them out. I mean, who knows? I just think the Rams are going to keep it a little bit close there. I think 8.5's a good teaser. I think don't be surprised if Buffalo doesn't come out slow in this game. So.
Okay. I saw there's some crazy numbers in the notes that the producers have for us here today. A record 45 I have no glasses on. 45.6 million Americans plan to bet on the NFL this season, which is up 3% from last year.
Everyone loves to bet on their NFL. Yeah. More than $50.5 billion has been bet on sports with American sports books already this year. So just picture what is going on here. It's just amazing. Everyone loves from professionals to degenerates to housewives, the doctors and lawyers and Wall Street guys. Everyone wants the action on football. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, speaking of action on football, you got any betting tips for NFL? I know obviously you just went over one of them, which is, you don't always have to pick a side, look at the props and stuff, but what else can you tell the people?
Well, listen, I don't do a lot of side betting, though this year I am following some guys that I do trust. They tell me that they have some really good NFL sides, and they tell me they have won year after year. I'm still not going to bet them, but I'm going to track them. But I have beat NFL over the last 25 years. But my way to beat them is different than betting NFL sides. So last year was the best example I can give you. Crack wins for the year in NFL. I don't like to even talk about it because it's too hard to believe. 139 and 76. I mean, wow. That's insane. It's like almost 65%. It's just nuts. Now, that's because I'm betting prop bets. I'm betting quarters, not quarters. I'm sorry. I'm betting first halves, totals. I bet first half totals, a couple correlated parlays in there, first half parlays, some teasers. So I'll just tell you, give you some tips. Line shopping is so key. I can't tell you how many times a half a point makes the difference from a win or a loss. These NFL lines are so tight. So You should definitely line shop. And let me be blunt. I hate to tell you this because you're going to bet it anyway. I know. So if I give out a game, I'm going to say, go over 47 on a football game, and someone just has no choice but with their bookmaker, they go over 47.5. No, it's a no bet. 47 is one of those numbers that come out. You know what I mean? 34-13, 24-23. This is a key number, one of the key numbers in the NFL. So line shopping is really a must. Key numbers too. While they're not worth as much as they were worth years ago, the 3 and the 7, because of the 10 yard, they moved the extra point 10 yards. So the 3 used to be worth a little bit more. But they're key numbers that you want to make sure that if you're betting on your own or something, you're looking to get a game like this Rams game. Perfect example. You want to bet the Rams tomorrow night? There's 2.5. You probably should buy the 3. And you probably should buy the 3 with a bookmaker that allows you to buy the 3 for under 20 cents or less. So, you're line shopping. You're making sure the key numbers, 3, 4, 7, obviously 3, 7, 4, 10, 6. They're all key numbers that you want to make sure you're betting the right number there. You don't want to bet something that you're not getting a key number. This is something that I wrote some notes down earlier. So to separate in your mind the entertainment versus money, this is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing that I see more and more everywhere. Especially these games like tomorrow night's game. I really shouldn't. Let's use Sunday night or Monday night. Okay, Sunday night football, Monday night football. These games are the only game on TV, and I just know that you have so much temptation to bet these games, especially on Monday night football. You're with your buddies. They're all cheering and yelling. You're out for a beer. You're going to want action on the game. You just want to, if you're going to bet something, throw a peanut on it and fool around. And don't just bet a significant portion of your bankroll just because it's on TV and your buddies are there. And, it brings me right into my fourth rule here is discipline. You really have to have that discipline not to chase, you have to manage your bankroll. You want to manage your bankroll. Management is so key, only betting a couple percent. People don't do this though. I just can't tell you how many times Bill Krackomberger, went broke when I was a kid. When I was 16, 17, 18, I was betting sports. I did it myself. I know what it is. And it took someone to shake me and show me the money tree and how you make money in the end. And definitely you're not going to make money if you're chasing that late night game. But I know everyone likes to do it. I know it. But I'll just tell you what, I know that chasing has ruined more lives for people than anything else. And not only in sports, in the casino, having money in your pocket. It's hard to leave a casino losing when you have money in your pocket. It's our human makeup.
That is, to me, the gold, what you're saying. I mean, that
all you want to do is get even, right? Just get even. God, just let me get even and I'm leaving.
Yep.
And I'm leaving. That's all, It's the reason why the casinos build wings on the casino is us in volume, people like that, mentality like that. The human chemistry, human makeup is to not lose in life from when you're a little kid, when you're playing chess and checkers with your dad or Monopoly and right into the casino games. And that's the reason why the casinos make all the money they do.
Yeah. I have so many friends that, that used to play like just red or black at the roulette wheel, right? And they go chew up their money and they go, oh, it's got to be black this time. It's been red 7 times in a row. Got to be black. I'm going to put the bet. I'm going to get it all back that I've lost and then some on black right now because it has to be black. It's been red 7 in a row and it doesn't have to be black, right?
So wrong.
Yeah.
So wrong. Last tip.
Yeah.
Fantasy football, big part of people's lives for years before sports betting was even legalized in all these jurisdictions. And because fantasy football is such a big thing now, I'd never really played it, except when I was a little kid. We had this thing called Stratomatic. It was the first kind of fantasy things back in the early 80s. But it's actually brought a rise of attention to a lot of players and a lot of these sports books because of the fantasy. There's more ways to bet games, which would be proposition bets. And I'll tell you right now, that's the way I bet. I'll bet more on NFL props than anything else in the NFL throughout the year. So, listen, again, don't force a game. If you want to root for something, bet one of those prop bets that you like. or that you think you may have an edge on. And the casino, the sports book doesn't have their eye on it as much as the game itself. And you'll have action the whole game rooting for or against a player. And when I say prop bets, I mean the player props, the actual over under yardage for each player, over under. That's what I'm really talking about. So there's some tips.
Fantastic. One last thing before we change topics here. I have a friend. I won't say his name. He loves betting on sports. He watches the show a lot. He's been pretty successful with baseball this year, just kind of riding on the Dodgers almost daily. His average bet is maybe 300 to 500 a game. He'll do, just straight bet on the Dodgers, and then maybe he does a parlay. He hit me up yesterday. He wanted to bet $5,000 on the Dodgers minus 1.5 because they had Anderson pitching. He wanted to do it either yesterday or today because Kershaw was pitching. He's like, they're guaranteed wins. I said, do not do that. It's just not worth it. Build up to that. Like, if you're going to do that, make a bet like that with their money. Don't make it with your money. And I kind of talked him off the roof, but what would your advice be? Because I know he'll listen to you. He doesn't listen. He won't listen to me. What would your advice be to someone that wants to go that big, that much higher than their normal range of betting on a game?
Well, if you have $150,000 that's dedicated for sports betting, then yeah, you could bet $5,000. But if you don't have that,
right,
you're betting over your bankroll, and you may win. I think the Dodgers did; they were winning.
They did win last night, and they covered. Yeah.
You may win, and you may win again the next time. But sooner or later, that type of mentality is going to be. It's called gambler's ruin. RUIN. You will lose all your money betting with that type of mentality. But right now he's floating high on top of the world with a win. And I'm sure he's not going to listen to me, but if he bet him 2 nights ago, San Fran beat the Dodgers.
Right,
is a big dog,
and it's hard to climb out of that hole if you lose that game, right? Because then you're in chasing. Now you're going to end up chasing, right? Because you make a big bet like that $5,000, that's not your normal bet. Now what?
You're off to the races. The
right.
next thing you're doing is like a junkie. You're stealing things and selling them to get your money back. And I don't mean to say you're a friend. I'm just saying.
No, I get it.
In general, there's bankroll management is not being used in that situation, I'm sure, unless he has that type of money.
Yeah.
But that's the way the book wants you to think. This is easy. This looks too easy.
Right.
Got to bet this.
It's a lock.
It's a lock.
Okay, let's move on. Bill, I have a question for you. Do people buy too much into the drama when betting?
Probably. I would think that these guys on these networks that profile individual players, and I get like an ESPN alert on my phone. I don't know if you get that at all, John, when certain things happen across all different sports.
Yeah.
But they probably they probably buy into the drama a little too bit of I put a tweet up last week about Hard Knocks, which, by the way, I never watched Hard Knocks till this season. I love it. What a show. Profiling the team week after week, what's going on in the training camps, looking at the coaches, the off the field stuff, on the field. I mean, no matter what, you're going to think this team is better than they are. And what we mean this year, Detroit Lions are profiled. You're going to think they're better than they are. And, just think that same thing is going on in all the other 31 teams that's going on in the locker room. So I'm sure that the Lions may even be overvalued for the first few weeks this year. But, if you watch that Hard Knocks, you're going to be rooting for the Lions. That's for sure. Whoever they play against.
Yeah.
It's just that big. So that's like an example of that. The quarterbacks that are being traded around, and they're like the Baker Mayfield talk and the quarterback situations, and the Jets, who's going to start? Is it going to be a Flacco, or this guy was a veteran career, but he went to the Super Bowl with Baltimore. So there's always drama about who's going to start and where people are jockeying around. And this year, revenge situation. There's different situations that honestly, it's already baked into the line. The Baker Mayfield thing, it's baked into the line. The Russell Wilson thing, it's baked into the line. That's all I could say.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to my favorite topic of the week, the UFC. There's some big fights this week. We've obviously we've talked about Nate Diaz stepping back into the ring this week against Khamzat Chimaev. Also, Tony Ferguson. I don't know if you know who Tony Ferguson is. I'm sure you've heard that name. I watched this guy fight in Arizona earlier this year. I want to say April or May. and he suffered a brutal knockout, Bill, and I cannot believe this guy is fighting again this calendar year. Normally if you suffer a knockout like that, you need to take a year off. You want to let your head, recover from that. It takes time, but he's fighting. He's a pretty big underdog. He's 0-4 at lightweight. And he's fighting this one at welterweight, so he doesn't have to do a weight cut. Normally, Tony would fight at 155, so he's fighting at welterweight 170. He's a big dog. If he loses, I feel like he's lost maybe 6 or 7. If he loses this one, we might see Tony getting released, even though he's a legend. Definitely possible. So something to keep your eye on for this week. And like I said, the Nate Diaz fight, he's plus 700. Our producer Rob and I have a little friendly bet. I don't know what we've really bet. We haven't made an actual bet, but something's going to happen. He's going to have to, post that I am the GOAT when it comes to picking UFC fights. With really, Bill, it shouldn't even count. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm picking the big favorite here, but Nate Diaz has no shot at this one, Bill. No shot.
Wow. No shot. No shot. No. Not something that's in my library of words. Anything. I mean, people said that people said that Mike Tyson, when he lost to Buster Douglas, no shot for Douglas.
That's true.
He's a 40, 50 to 1 underdog. I mean, anything, if anything in history has taught us anything in sports betting history, that anything can happen. So
in Nate's defense, no one gave him any shot against Conor McGregor the first time they fought, and he ended up choking Conor out after almost getting knocked out a couple times round 1. So Nate,
John, what kind of money do these guys make for this kind of fight?
That's a good question for this one. I did,
because that would make me think that maybe Nate's just taking a check, one last big check. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think Nate is a $5 million guy with pay-per-view points. Maybe more.
No way.
Yeah.
You can make that. He's going to make that kind of money on
this fight? So the guaranteed money that you'll see that they release to like the fight to the commission, it's probably going to say like $1 million or something for Nate.
Right.
But on pay-per-view points, he's definitely gets pay-per-view, and he's a big draw. I would think Nate's going to end up with about $5 million for this. I could be wrong, but I bet it's like, for like with Nate. That's why I don't think Nate's going to retire, and I don't think the UFC is going to get rid of Nate, because Nate says no, but Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3. They fought twice. They're 1-1. We got to see the trilogy. That's a fight that's always there. To me, that's the last fight. Either for Nate or even Conor, like out the door. That's the last money grab.
So that kind of fight that can bring in like upwards of like 25 million a fighter like that.
I think so. Yeah, I would say like 50 to 100 for Conor and 20 to 25 for Nate for that fight. I would think. Yeah, I mean everyone wants to see that fight still, no matter what all the Conor haters say they don't. But so good stuff, Bill. I'm sure will you watch the fights this week? These are worth watching. This one, no.
No, sorry.
I love it.
Did you ever get your tickets? Are you going to the fight?
I'm going to the fight. I got my 2 tickets. Yes. I actually saw Dana White last night at Dana White Contender Series. Had a nice little chat with him. And I'm all set. He's very good to me, that guy. You'll never hear me badmouth Mr. White. All right, Bill, super excited for this one. This will be our guest's second appearance here on Wise Kracks. Of course, Derek Stevens is who I speak of, who owns the Circa, who owns the D downtown. This man has single-handedly made downtown cool. Derek Stevens on Wise Kracks. Good to have you back. And look at him, Bill. We saw Derek about a week ago over there at Circa, and thank you for the invite. And he looks like a movie star. This guy dropped some weight. He looks like he belongs on the cover of GQ magazine, not the Wise Kracks podcast. What's going on here, Derek?
Yeah. Hey, Derek. Thanks for coming on with us.
Hey, great to be back on with you guys. Great intro. Glad to be here.
Good. Yeah, you look great. Also, I'll mention that Derek also owns the Golden Gate, which is, Derek, am I right to say this? Is that the oldest casino in Nevada or in Las Vegas? Is that right?
The oldest building in the history of Vegas.
Really?
Yeah, 1906. Wow. Yeah.
Wow, there you go. So that's the third casino he owns. Let's get right into this, Derek. And thank you again for inviting John and I down there for some of these Circa parties when we had the big Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Let me ask you, get right into it. I don't know them. I haven't looked in days. What are we looking at right now? What are we looking at for Circa Survivor, Circa Millions? This is your big contest that you have every year. I see it all the time at the airport. You can't get off a plane without seeing this sign for Circa. So Yeah. So what do the numbers look like ballpark right now?
Well, right now we're at about 4.8 million of entries into the Circa Survivor, and with the amount of time we have left, I think we're going to get pretty close to the 6 million. If we don't hit the 6 million, we're guaranteeing the 6 million. If we go over the 6 million, then all the entry fees go back into the pot. So it could go to one winner. It could go to a handful that chop the pot, if they all go undefeated or if they all get knocked out in the same week. So I would say right now, will Circa Survivor hit its guarantee? I'd say it's about a pick 'em right now. We're 3 days out, 1.2 million to go, but so many of the entries come in the last 72 hours. So I'd say it's about a pick 'em. The Circa Millions is really the story of the 2022 football contest season, though. Last year we guaranteed 4 million. We did 4.1 million of entries. Wow. And this is the one that we pushed it. So we went from 4 million guarantee up to 6 million. So the Circa Millions is it's the traditional football contest, 5 games a week over the 18 weeks. And, we're paying $1 million to the winner. We're paying on the top 100 in the overall. We got the quarterly prizes. We got not just the overall booby prize, but we've also got a little booby prize. We got quarterly booby prizes. So we got a lot of payouts. I think it's like 126 or 130 cashes out of this tournament. But the reason why the Circa Millions is the football contest for 2022, it's because we bumped the guarantee from 4 million to 6 million, and we're going to have an overlay. Right now, with just a few days left, we're at about 3,600 entries. There's no shot we get to the 6 million. So that's where the positive EV is going to be. It's going to be in the Circa Millions this year.
Wow, that's great. I honestly didn't know it was that low. So you're talking is going to be at least a 7-figure. I think it's a 7-figure overlay here. Now, I will tell you, though, Derek, I know me and my buddies, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow night and headed back. And I know 3 guys that said to me, what flight are you going on? Because there's going to be at least 3 people I know coming in just for contests. So, and let me be blunt, I didn't sign up under my name yet. So there's going to be a lot of push on Friday of signing up. I'm coming back. I'm going to a concert Friday night. My wife wants to see this Motley Crue, so I'm going to that. But before that concert, I'm going to get down there. Oh, by the way, Derek, we could sign up at either the Circa or Tuscany. Is that correct? The Tuscany Resort?
Yeah, you could sign up at any of our 3 casinos. So the Golden Gate, the D, or Circa. And then now we've got 3 satellite sports books. One in Henderson called the Pass. One in Vegas called Tuscany, which you know of, and then one now in Northern Nevada in Sparks at Legends Bay. The key thing to remember, though, is that Circa is open 24 hours. The other properties are not. So if you happen to be rolling in at 2 a.m, Circa would be the place to go. But yeah, we tried to make it convenient for everybody. Hey, and by the way, Crack, I tell you, I'm excited about you coming into town because there's so much value here. I was kind of joking around that if I was back in my old fraternity days, I'd be rounding up the crew. We'd be making a pilgrimage to Vegas because the math is way too strong to pass up on the millions this year.
Absolutely is. I tell you, it's going to be a really fun year. And I didn't realize this until today. You're saying that it's a pick 'em for the Circa Survivor. Because I thought the Survivor was definitely getting the 6 million. It's a pick 'em. There may be some value in that. There is going to be value anyway because of the competition. It's like the World Series of Poker you're going against. But there's also going to be value because it may be an overlay. So this is fantastic news. I'm going to have to even talk John Orlando into getting involved here. He doesn't really like to gamble too much anymore, but I'm gonna get him involved in this.
I'm in.
Circa Millions. He's in.
I'm in. I stay away because I want to keep it fair for everybody, Derek. I want other people to have an opportunity to win, to have their day in the sun. So I stay clear of these kind of things. I do have a question for you though. A serious question. How is it that? And we were talking offline before we started, and I won't divulge what we were saying, but sort of along those lines, I'm curious. How is it that you are able to have this incredible friendship that you have with Bill Krackomberger when he's technically the enemy to the sports book? How is it that you guys are able to have the relationship you have where a lot of the casinos They don't even want him in there. Can you explain this to me?
Right.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes to our general philosophy at Circa Sports. We don't want to limit professional bettors. We don't want to limit anybody with information, them or their teams or their crews. That's not what we do. I mean, I've always been a big markets guy. I love the way Circa Sports is developed with Matt Metcalf. We spend a lot of time talking about price discovery, how we build a line, how we create a robust line. And we're not an organization that's trying to limit the sizes of bets, and we're really not an organization that's trying to. We want the professionals to come play with us. I mean, I love the fact that we probably have more people with 6-figure and 7-figure deposits on their app, because that's really important for what we do. If we have let's just say a tourist comes in and a big player, he wants to bet 100,000 on a game. Once we get to know him, you might want to bet $500,000 on a game, and he wants to do it, a half an hour before kickoff. We'll be able to take the bet because we know we've got, a robust set of customers that can get us a little bit of buyback. If you don't have the professionals and you don't have people with the deposits necessary, you wouldn't be able to take these type of bets. So we really celebrate, the professionals. We celebrate crack, because that's what our model is. Every sports book has a different business model, and I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying this is the model for us. So we like taking big bets, and we like the pros. We like to learn from them. And I hope there's a lot of pros that make a good living off of Circa Sports. My key thing is we got to continue to get more and more people in here, grow our handle, and that's helpful to our business, and that's helpful to all the pros that are kind enough to keep deposits with us so they can get down.
Good question, John. I didn't know you were going to ask that, John. That's a good question. It actually segues into what I want to say. You guys do take the sharp bets. You do take big bets. I was in there last week and with you, and I said, Derek, I want to bet something that's 150 to 1. I want $8,000 on it, though. You could take anything up to the 8,000. Derek said, walk me to the counter, 8,000 on this bet to win 1.2 million. I mean, this is what you guys do. You guys take on the pros, and I have to congratulate you for that. My question is this. The reason why you take on those pros too is you learn from them. Your guys learn, Matt Metcalf and crew, you learn from them where your line should be. So maybe even you could put the customers on the other side of that sharp side and hopefully get the volume back the other way. And in the end, you're gonna beat the customers in the end. I know, but I do know from being in there, and I know that you guys do have some risk. And you'll have losing weeks. It's just part of the business. But maybe you're a little bit more risk averse than a lot of other companies, and you will take them big bets because you're growing now too. We understand that. But I got to give you credit. Am I saying it the right way? You guys are pretty much learn from the customers a lot of times.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about it. There's no sports book in the country that can hire enough people to watch every tweet deck out there. Markets are going to, look at this Donovan Mitchell deal. If the market's the one that got it by 2 minutes, we took some big action on that Donovan Mitchell NBA trade the other day. You learn from customers. And and this is kind of where we want to give a benefit to the pros that are playing with us. If you got the information first and you're going to make a play, I'm just going to tap you on the shoulder and say, great play. We're going to make adjustments quickly, but we got to learn from the pros. The markets are so incredibly smart. And when you think about the number of college football teams, college basketball teams, you're talking about, European soccer. There are things that happen, and I've always been respectful about markets, about the individual pros. And then, it all starts with price discovery, building your number, having a good, solid foundation on what you have. And we want the pros to win. And the early bird that gets the bet in is great. What good does it do if you got great information? You're limited to getting the $50 down. Nobody's making a living off of that. So we want to be respectful, and we want to be respectful for people that do what you do, and for other pros out there. to be able to make a living.
Bill, this is a good time to remind everybody to download the Crack Wins app, or just go to crackwins.com, or if you have Apple or Google Play, you can get the app there. I mean, NFL season is coming up. Bill says he's, I love that you're so humble. I know the 65% last year. You openly say, never again. I'll never hit that again. It's impossible. You shaking your head already. No.
Listen. 55% will make me a lot of money, and they'll make my guys a lot of money.
Yeah.
65% is ridiculous. So, but however, that being said, me and my team have actually talked about it. We're going to have more prop bets on release this year. So we're going to have certain sports books only put them up. I don't like to do what a lot of the services do. So some of the services out there will say, you can bet this prop right now at DraftKings only, or you could bet this at FanDuel only. I don't think that's really fair to people to release something. There's a big service out there that's pretty cheap. It's like $40. That's ridiculous.
Sure.
They're releasing plays on like Monday for next week when only 2 or 3 people are going to get it on their list, and it's only at one sports book. As soon as you bet it, the sports book takes it down, so no one else can get it. I think that's just
that's dirty.
You're not doing a service. You're doing a disservice to your customer base. So we don't do that. But I think we're going to have a lot more Sunday day of game props than we did last year. I do know a lot of these sports books are putting up player props. So of course that is one of our bread and butters. Also, not only that, it's going to be the totals, the first half totals, and it's going to be the golf still, some NASCAR stuff thrown in.
Yeah.
We have a lot of different ways to beat your man this year. Looking forward to it. Big year for Crack Wins. We're having a fantastic year as we speak, and it's only going to get better this football season.
I know you won't say it, so I'm going to say it. I have even a lot of my friends, that are obsessed with sports betting. They buy picks. They buy picks from so many different people. A lot of them buy them from you, but a lot of them are, it's weird. Like they want to subscribe to like 4 different guys and see who's picking and picking what, and then they kind of go with like the overall consensus, I guess, or I don't know what their strategy is, but all I can tell you is this, guys. This guy, Bill Krackomberger right here, will tell you, I hit 65% this year and I won't do it again. He'll tell you, you just need to be 55% to make money, a lot of money. Don't fall into this trap of believing this marketing nonsense that I won't mention names of some of these other guys out there, these cappers that are out there posting on Instagram. I'm 75%, I'm 80%, I'm 90% winner, 85%, I'm 127-1 in MLB picks this year. It's nonsense. Period.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's just
right.
Crazy. I get it. You see pictures of a flashy car and flashing cash, and it, it's amazing what editing a 30-second to 1-minute video for Instagram can brainwash the masses into thinking, oh my God, this guy picks lights out 127-1 for baseball. It is impossible. Yes?
That person you're talking about, they bet these series bets. And they'll bet the team, and they're in a 4-game series, and they'll bet it 1 unit on this game. If they win, they consider it a win. If they lose that game, they double up here, quadruple up here, and actually 8 times the money up here. So if they lose all 4 home games, literally, they lose all 4 of these games. By the way, you're laying giant juice on all these games.
Right.
All 4 of those games lost, which happens every year for this clown you're talking about.
Right.
That equals such a loss that you're going to get destroyed on the year,
right.
Even though you're 50-0 on the
right.
rest of them.
And
you lose money.
Right. And if they lose 3 of those games and win game 4, he calls that a win.
He calls that a win. Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Yep.
So listen, guys, you might think it's, we do this every show. It's a sales pitch. I'm telling you, I have so many friends that have gone broke betting on sports, and the ones I know that are rolling with Crack Wins, they're in the winner's circle. So download the app today. It's on Apple, Google Play. There's my pitch. I'm done.
Cool.
Let's talk about WSN. Crack it open.
All right.
Crack.
I got it open. No, it's open. It's open right now, and I'm on their homepage of their mobile. And again, guys, first thing comes up this week is the match plays and the deposit bonuses. There's a couple of new ones here. I never heard of Owner's Box. There's a new sportsbook Owner's Box that match $500. I mean, this company WSN negotiates these bonuses with these sports books that you really can't get on the sportsbook site. So first, let's talk about them. You can go to any of the state guides or the bonuses, and literally, I'll click on Jersey. I like to click on Jersey. Caesars up to $1,250. FanDuel has a 5 to get $150. DraftKings $1,000 upon us. BetMGM $1,000 risk-free bet. I can just go on and on. PointsBet $2,000 risk-free bets. Rivers $500. Golden Nugget $250. These are all the bonuses you get. But also, like I say to you guys, the stories on here are fantastic. The stories on every week to come up with brand new, fresh stories. And literally this week, betting tips and picks for week 1, of course, NFL. But also they have, by the way, all of our podcasts are on here. If you want to watch get a podcast, you watch one of our podcasts, they're all on there. Soccer predictions articles, which people I know this time of the year, soccer, but there's some really good articles, international articles on here. Now going over to what I like, the U.S. sports betting news, the different jurisdictions that are still fighting for sports betting. Kansas just launched sports betting. There's an article on that. There's an article about betting exchanges in New Jersey. Brand new thing to New Jersey. It's no longer just sports books. It's a betting exchange, like a Betfair across the pond, where you can go against just one of your buddies, or you can go against anybody really that puts up a market and makes a market for a lot less juice. So that'll be interesting. I'd like to know how they're going to be, what kind of markets are going to be offered there in the betting exchange. It's a brand new thing. Read about it on WSN. Ohio, there's an article about that just approved their first betting licenses. Again, on and on and on, different things. Betting news, so many different things. The bonuses, WSN.com. Get it, go there. They have it all. It just hit me too. We always talk about the sports and the sports book. I want the people out there to know Circa Casino, unbelievable. It is unbelievable. You guys got to get out there just to see. Now, the Circa Swim, you guys have, I've only been out there once or twice with you both times, by the way, but I've only been out there a couple times. Now, how long will that go the whole season? Can people come out to Circa Swim and watch the games on Sunday? Now, what do? Do they just line up in the morning to procure their spot at the pool and stuff? And will you have that throughout the whole, does it go to the Super Bowl, or what happens out there?
Oh yeah. I mean, Stadium Swim is what's called. And it's Stadium Swim is open 365 days a year. So you take a day like Sunday, opening day of the NFL. Everybody, you book your tickets just like you would if you're going to a rock concert, or you're going to a movie theater these days. You book your location. Could be a cabana, could be a daybed, could be a waterfront couch, could be a lot of different areas, could be GA, and you book it. Fortunately, we sell out basically every Sunday. We still have some GAs available. We always try to keep some GAs available for some walk-ups,
sure,
so that we don't have disappointment. But yeah, it's completely sold out. We flip the venues. There's an AM session, a PM session. You can get all day, but we're open 365 days a year. As outdoor venue, we promote drinking. We promote being aquatic. We promote a little bit of tobacco or whatever your favorite flavor is. And we got a 143-foot outdoor screen, so you never miss anything. So that's kind of what we do. When it gets to be a little colder out in Vegas, really what it effectively comes into, it becomes basically a hot tub pool party. So you jump in the water, and it's a great place to get a couple of buckets of beer, and you can go watch a hockey game or go watch a Monday Night Football game in December.
There's no experience like this, guys, in Vegas. Once you do this, you'll say you can never do it any other way. So know that too. This is really the way to go. If you guys like sports, you like pools, Stadium Swim. John, what do you have?
It really is. I mean, just to touch on that point, I mean, when I walk into Circa, I feel like I did I only had that feeling in one other property in the history of Vegas, which was the Hard Rock back in the day. Back in like 95, 96, when you walked into the Hard Rock, the layout was perfect. It was like small, intimate, and you walked in there and the vibe and the music, and that to me is what you've recreated, is that kind of feel. You walk into Circa and it's electric. You feel like you're in Vegas, man. You just, it's unbelievable. Between the dealers are hot, the dancing girls, on the sides of the table games and stuff. The sports book is massive, the screens, and then you go out to Stadium Swim. It's just that property is unbelievable what you have done. I can't brag about it enough. I mean, it really, downtown used to be like hard pass for me. And now I tell everyone they come to town, when they hit me up and they go, what's a must do in Vegas? I swear, I don't say this because you're on the show right now, Derek. I swear to you, I will screenshot and show you text message after text message for over the last year and a half. I say you have to go to Circa.
Well, I appreciate those very, very kind words. I could tell you that I've been coming to Vegas. I grew up in Detroit, but I've been coming to Vegas since the 80s. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember seeing the Mirage for the first time. I remember going to the Hard Rock. I still remember my player's card number from the Hard Rock early on, and what that circle bar was like, particularly back in my single days. That was something. I remember, going to Caesar's Palace and going to, Bo Holyfield outside, and the energy and the electricity of when you come to Las Vegas. I mean, it's amazing. You might be an hour out on a flight and you just start getting pumped up. And I always thought about those moments, about how exciting it was about when you had your trip planned, a week before you come, 3 days before you come, the day of, how jacked up you are. And I guess it's maybe all those moments kind of maybe accumulated for myself and my friends. And I never really thought that I ever would have a chance to own a casino, but when it finally all came to pass, I guess it's an accumulation of loving to bet and saying goofy things like 25 years ago, like something like with my buddy, man, if I ever own a casino, I'd do this. And then all of a sudden I had a shot to do it, but we want to just make sure we can see games, have a lot of fun, high energy type of joint. And that's really what we try to create. So I want to tell you, thanks for saying that. That's actually pretty meaningful to me.
Yeah, man, I mean it. And Circa is so amazing. So I'll ask you an actual question now. The question would be, when you have a place like Circa, that is, I would say, a masterpiece, right? In terms of a property. Do you have plans like to do that again? Like, as a businessman and entrepreneur, do you sit there and, like, I don't want to say do you get bored, but like at some point do you go, I can top this? And then is that the goal, or what's next for you?
Well, remember a couple things. We bought the Vegas club in August of 2015. So Circa, even though it seems like it happened overnight to a lot of people, it was effectively a 5.5-year project. And development's okay. I like it a little, but I love operating. So I don't want to be too selfish here, but I really love being at Circa. I mean, we designed a place, myself, our friends, our team. We designed a place that we want to run, that we want to hang out at. I mean, I'm not sitting at the end of the bar because I have to. I mean, I'm sitting at the end of the bar because this is kind of where I want to be. I'm sitting at the sports book on weekends because we designed a joint that we want to go to. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of hard to go out of town sometimes when, if you're out of town on business or something, I got to catch games at an alternate location. It's like, man, I just wish I could control my screen or the screens inside of here like the way we do. So really what we want to do is we want to operate and kind of go from there. Certainly doesn't mean we don't want to grow. We want to grow. Just last weekend, we opened up our new ballroom and meeting space here. So that's a whole new project for us that we just kicked off last week. And then from a sports side, we're in Colorado, we're in Iowa, we're going to launch in Illinois in the first quarter of 2023, and we'd like to take Circa Sports to other states. So those would be a few of the things. But right now, I think we really like hanging around here, and I love the fact that everybody that comes down wants to come up and say hello. I love the stories everybody you meet on Thursday nights through Sundays. It's awesome.
That's great.
That's great. That's so great. Think about that, John. What he just said too. He's at the bar. You can come up and rub shoulders with the owner of a casino. And who better than someone that knows the pulse of the industry? This man at first was a gambler at heart. He used to come here and gamble, so he knows what the customers expect. Imagine going up and walking into a casino and be able to hang out with the owner for a second, say hello, grab a photo, and tell him what great job he's doing. And it really is an amazing experience that he has created here for all of us, and we're the ones that are really getting the benefits of it, Derek. We really thank you for coming on. We're gonna talk about you more on these shows. We found a little bit about you last week. We never know. You actually seen John's dad in concert when you were younger in Detroit, right? You seen Tonio. So we're gonna
I saw Tony Orlando at the Andiamo, the Andiamo that was in Warren, Joe Vaccari's place, and Tony Orlando had some great events at Andiamo, which was a great supper club in the Detroit area. I think it was big enough. It held maybe like 800 or 1,000 people, and man, it was the thing. It was the place to be at. That's for sure.
That is.
Well, I don't have to
awesome.
invite you, right, John? I don't have to invite you next time to go backstage and hang out. Tony comes in town a couple times a year.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Fact,
we need to all do dinner
down there. Let's do dinner down there. We'll bring Tony down there next time we're here, Derek. I'll get a hold of you. That'll be great.
Yeah, we love it. I'd love to have him at Andiamo at the D. I think he'd get a kick out of it.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Love it there. Good deal. Thanks a lot, Derek. Appreciate it.
Thanks. I'll see you around this weekend. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right.
Thank you. I know I say it every episode when we have someone cool, like this was one of my favorites, but this was one of my favorites. I mean, it's like we were saying, he's just so down to earth, He is so
down to earth. John, we are blessed with these guests we get on this show, and Derek is one of them. He's a great guy, a regular guy you can go up to and hang out with, have a drink. Just now he invited us to go to dinner with your dad at Andiamo, and I love it. And he's that kind of guy. I just, I know that he's just. I knew he was going to be a great guest here the first time, and this time also he's got a great contest down there, and he's Mr. Las Vegas. I mean, there's 3 real powerful people that I can think of in Las Vegas. He's one of the 3.
Agreed. Yeah. All right, Bill Krackomberger, this was fun. Let's do it again next week. Are you back in town next week, or are you still on the road?
I am. Am I back? I don't even know.
It's a mystery. Find out. Tune in next week to find out.
In studio.
Okay, very good.
All
we'll
right.
see you next week, and we'll see all of you next week on Wise Kracks.